The time has come to review what, to me, is the best Terminator game, and to me, the real Terminator 3.
Yo, dudes, the Empire's pretty chill. Maybe you could, join it or something.
Everyone, Lucimus Prime here, so it's time for a video game review today, and in today's video I'm going to be reviewing a first-person shooter game which is made by the video game studio Teon, and this is a game based on an action sci-fi franchise, which is actually the franchise which has my favorite action movie of all time, and this game I'm going to be doing a review of is none other than 2019's Terminator Resistance. So, now when it comes, of course, to this game then, so how was this made? So this was, of course, developed by Teon, and the game is, of course, based on the franchise of Terminator, and it's set during the original future war, which was only glimpsed in the first two films of the franchise. And they developed the game, and of course, it took quite a lot of time to do because the development was of course, started in 2013, and the UK video game publisher Reef Entertainment was going to be getting the right to making a Terminator game, and the game was then announced in September 2019, developed by Teon, and then published by Reef Entertainment. And despite as well this game being released in the same year as the film Terminator Dark Fate, it does not connect to the film in any form or fashion, and you know what, I'm overjoyed about that, because that film, in my opinion, sucks. So, when it comes to the release of the game, it was released for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and also as well Windows as well in November 2019. The PC version was released a day earlier than the console, or date of 15th of November. Then an enhanced version as well was also as well released for PlayStation 5 as well on 30th of April 2021, which is what I have here, the enhanced version. It was also released as well for Xbox Series X and S on 27th of October 2023, which was quite a late release, goodness me. And the Steam version was also as well released on 7th January 2020. And the game received generally mixed reviews from critics. But when it comes, of course, to my reaction to this game then, so after I absolutely love Teon's video game Robocop Rogue City, which is so far my favourite game from 2023, they won my respect, and that's why I wanted to play another one of their games, so I got this, Terminator Resistance. I used to have it on PS4, but when I got a PS5, I decided to upgrade to the enhanced version. And I can definitely say very confidently that this game, in my opinion, is the best Terminator video game I've ever played of all time. Like, I absolutely love this game. I think it's an absolute masterpiece. And when it comes to being canon, I consider this game to be canon to the first two films, and to me, it's the true Terminator 3. Like, I think this game is what the films after Terminator 2 should have been, in my opinion. And this game gave me lots of more respect for Teon as well, because just like with Robocop, they made this game with Terminator fans in mind, and it has tons of fan service and tons of fun. So, now when it comes to what I think is great about the game then, so the game, of course, is a first-person shooter, and in my opinion, it's so much fun because of that. And when it comes to the start of the game, you start off with normal human-made weaponry fighting against machines. But in my opinion, the game gets even better once you get the plasma rifles, like of course the T-800 used in the war. And the game, in my opinion, definitely nailed the T-800s as enemies, because at first you've got to avoid them because your human-made weapons can't damage them at all. So they're ineffective. So there's a risk of you getting terminated if you go near them, of course, if you don't have a plasma rifle. But when you progress through a story and you upgrade your skills, you will be able to use plasma rifles, and the game gets a lot more fun when you can fight the Terminators with plasma rifles. Like, it's so much fun, in my opinion. But I think they really nailed the characters, in my opinion, and definitely, in my opinion, a lot better than the Terminator recent films as well, in my opinion, too. And when it comes as well to connecting to the first two films, the game also has lots of really cool Easter eggs in the game, which I definitely really appreciate and made me love the game and Teon a lot more. For example, in one of the missions where you explore the ruins of a town, you can actually find the diner that Sarah Connor worked at in the first movie. Like, when I saw that, I was just amazed. And speaking as well of the first movie, there's also as well a really awesome Easter egg involving music, because there's a side mission in one of the maps where you've got to find music coming from a boombox and turn it off, because it's of course attracting attention. And what's awesome is the song the boombox is playing is Burning in the Third Degree. And that's, of course, the song that plays in Tech Noir in the first Terminator movie in the club scene. Like, I definitely really love that song. Just really awesome. And I love how this game acknowledged it. Just brilliant, in my opinion. There's also the appearance as well of John Connor as well in the game. And what I also really appreciate about this game is it stayed faithful to how John was portrayed in the first two films, because he took, you know, the inspiration for his design in this game from his appearance in the opening sequence of the second movie. So I definitely really loved how they of course, took inspiration from that, really. And it makes me further believe it's the true Terminator 3 to the first two films, as far as I'm concerned. In addition, another great thing as well about the game for me is also the graphics, because it's really mind-blowing to me how this video game was made with a low budget. Yeah, I'm not kidding, like, Teon tends to use a low budget when making games, but in this game, you can barely tell it's using a low budget, because the graphics, in my opinion, are incredible. It looks really realistic, and I think because most of the game takes place in, of course, like, dark areas, obviously, of course, due to the aftermath of Judgment Day, of course, it's pretty dark, of course, in dark areas. I think that really helped the graphics age really well, in my opinion, and looks so great. And that's definitely a really big advantage that the game had. And in my opinion, it holds up really well because of that. And I especially think on its PS5 version, it looks phenomenal as well. I have no doubt in my mind it looks great from the other versions too as well. But yeah, the graphics in this game are just incredible. And it's just shocking how it was made with a low budget. And I must also say that in terms of story and also as well graphics and writing, it's also really sad how this game, which is made by a studio with a low budget, is miles better than a film released in the same year written by the franchise's creator, James Cameron. Like, it's just so sad how a game gets Terminator right compared to the franchise's creator. Like, that is just so sad, in my opinion. It's just really shocking to me how a game does better than a film. It's just, in my opinion, shocking and very embarrassing. But nonetheless, I think the game is absolutely phenomenal. And speaking as well of music, which I mentioned earlier, talking about the Easter egg in the game, I definitely as well really love how the composers for this game actually used Brad Fiedor's original theme. For example, on the main menu, you get to hear like an electric guitar version of a theme song combined with orchestra, stuff like that, really. Including the iconic drums as well. Yeah, I think the composers of this game being Chris Detnier and Leszek Gorniak and Jakub Gorlina, their soundtrack, in my opinion, was phenomenal. And also music that plays in the war scenes. Like, at the start of the game, you get to hear the music that plays in the opening battle from Terminator 2 when you're running away from machines. Like, when I heard that, I was just amazed. Like, the fan service in this game is just amazing, in my opinion. And that's why I love the game so much. And at the end of the game as well, when you're talking to John Connor, the as well play the track called It's Over from the ending scene of Terminator 2 as well, which I definitely really love seeing as well. I just really love that's how we got to see a scene where we talked to John Connor with that music in the background, just incredible in my opinion. And when it comes to lots of other things the game has to offer, it also allows you to make choices as well, which I think is definitely a really cool addition to a game, and it can also impact the game's story as well, which is definitely, in my opinion, brilliant. And also the characters, in my opinion, are also well written and well portrayed too, in my opinion. So, because your character that you play as is a character called Jacob Rivers, and I think he's a very likeable, good character, in my opinion. He's definitely, in my opinion, much better than the characters in the recent Terminator films, that's for sure, absolutely. He's way more likeable and well developed. I think all the characters introduced in this game who are brand new, not created before in other films, were, in my opinion, 10 times better than recent films, as far as I'm concerned. And the game also has a fair share of boss fights as well, so the T-800s can probably count as boss fights at first, of course, until you get a plasma rifle. You also get to fight T-850 as well, which is the Terminator model with the hydrogen and fuel cell attached to it, which is definitely a very cool addition to the game. And I think this game handled them way better than the actual Terminator 3 film, in my opinion, too, as well. So I think that's definitely, in my opinion, really well done. And the final battle, in my opinion, is also sick as well, and I just really love seeing it. Getting to actually play through it as well. It's just incredible getting to live through that. Like, what we saw as a first small glimpse in the first two films brought to life in this game, and in my opinion, they absolutely nailed it. They really knocked out a part of this game, in my opinion. So, I like to, of course, pretend in my canon that this is the true Terminator 3, so my idea for, like, a Terminator trilogy would go, of course, with you know, like, the first movie, and then my favourite action movie of all time, Terminator 2. And then, of course, this game, Terminator Resistance, which to me is the real Terminator 3, as far as I'm concerned. Because I personally think that this game is a closest we can get to being as great as the first two films, in my opinion. And if I was thinking about qualities, I would probably say that some parts of the game are a bit hard to do, such as, of course, like having to avoid takedowns at the start because you've got to avoid them because your weapon's ineffective. But it's still, in my opinion, lots of fun once you get a plasma rifle. Once you get them, it's much better, in my opinion. But some parts can be a bit hard to do, really, because of that. And some bosses are also quite hard to defeat as well. I think it all depends on timing, really, and what ammo you have. So my advice to you if you play the game is make sure you get as much ammo and supplies as possible in the game. And also make sure you upgrade your skill tree as well, because that'll definitely help you be able to use much more advanced weapons. For example, you get to use like an advanced plasma rifle, which has like purple lights on it instead of the red ones. And they're much more powerful. So I'd recommend you to upgrade your skills as much as you can once you get the skill trees. And make sure you progress for a story as well, because that allows you to unlock the skills too as well. I mean, the game is linear, so you get to, of course, play for a story. It's not like open world by any means, but you get to explore like various maps, really. But all I can say is, Teon have my absolute respect for making this game and making it a game for Terminator fans. And I can tell that lots of heart and soul was put into it. I mean, I can probably imagine that the makers of this game are Terminator fans themselves. And this is also proof that you can do a great Terminator story without even the original Terminator actor, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Because he's not in the game at all, guys. But nonetheless, the game is still absolutely awesome. And in my opinion, it executes the story really well, in my opinion. So, as far as I'm concerned, this to me is the best Terminator game of all time. The true Terminator 3 as far as I'm concerned. And if you guys haven't played it, I'd recommend it strongly. Because in my opinion, it's absolutely phenomenal. So, if I was to give Terminator Resistance a score out of 10, if I could put aside the one by core tab, which is for some parts can be a bit hard to do in the game, I'd most definitely give Terminator Resistance a full-blown 10 out of 10. To me, it's an absolute masterpiece. It's also really sad how it's a way better first-person shooter game than today's Call of Duty as well. That's just really sad in my opinion, but yeah, it's definitely up there as one of my favourite first-person shooter games of all time, absolutely. So, if you guys want a great action video game, which is really fast-paced, with full of awesome action, then I definitely recommend this game strongly. Because it has a great story, great graphics, awesome gameplay. I can't recommend it enough. Especially if you guys are fans of Terminator, because this game was made with you Terminator fans in mind. And as a fan of the first two ones myself, yeah, this game to me is just a masterpiece. So this to me cost you my review for 2019's game Terminator Resistance. So you know the drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also be sure to in the comments what you guys think of Terminator Resistance. If you played it, leave in the comments below. If you think about getting the game, I'd recommend it. If you like Terminator as a franchise or Teon's games, I definitely recommend it strongly. Also, be sure to join Team Prime by pressing subscribe for this coming future. And hasta la vista, baby.